Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us here at the Cryosphere Pavilion at COP30. I'm Martin Cialfaglia. I'm the CEO and co-founder of EcoGaia. At EcoGaia, we work at the intersection of science, technology, and sustainability, developing solutions that addresses the climate crisis while creating tangible benefits for people and ecosystems. Our project range from carbon and biodiversity initiatives designated to generate carbon and biodiversity credits. Our other solutions are also clean energy and ecosystem restoration, always seeking to connect innovation with measurable environmental and social impacts. It's an honor to be part of this event alongside Solar Cooker International, sharing how solar energy can become a true ally for climate resilience. And with me, it's Alejandra Tartara, our CTO in EcoGaia.
Thanks, Martin. Hello, everyone. Over the past year, our teams at Solar Cookers International and EcoGaia have been working together on two clean cooking initiatives in Mali and in the Central African Republic. Both are countries where energy poverty, deforestation, and climate vulnerability are deeply connected, and both shows enormous potential for solar energy to transform everyday life. Today, we'd like to share how a simple idea, cooking with sunlight, can grow into a structured and financeable climate solution, a solution that improves livelihoods, preserves forests, and reduces emission at scale.
In much of sub-Saharan Africa, daily cooking still depends on burning wood or charcoal. In Mali and the Central African Republic, according to the WHO, over 95% of households rely on these fuels every single day. This carries a heavy cost. Women and girls often spend hours collecting firewood. Indoors, the smoke causes respiratory illness and eye irritation. And on a larger scale, it drives deforestation and greenhouse gas emissions. Solar cooking changes that dynamic. By using one of the most abundant resources on Earth, families can prepare food without fuel, without smoke, and without cost. Solar cooking sits at the intersection of climate, health, and gender equality. Every solar cooker that SCI distributes reduces emissions, protects trees, and gives time back, time for education, for work, and for life. It's a simple act, but one that speaks to global climate justice.
When SCI first approached EcoGaia, the goal was clear: to design a concrete program that could be, on one side, financially viable, methodologically sound, and socially inclusive. So in this direction, this year in 2025, with the EcoGaia team and SCI team, we conducted two feasibility studies in Mali and in CAR, following one of the newest and most robust concrete methodologies developed under Gold Standard, one of the most trusted frameworks for clean cooking current projects. We started from scratch, analyzing data from several hundred households and surveys conducted there. And we defined the project baseline: how much wood and charcoal family normally uses, how meals are prepared, and which technologies fit better with local habits. From there, we modelized how solar cookers could replace traditional fuels under very realistic and conservative assumptions. And we estimated the associated emission reductions from our project scenario and our project activities. We tested several technologies, from reflective panels, box cookers, parabolic models, solar electric hybrids, always focusing on one key principle: adoption first. Technology only works when people truly want to use it. This study also analyzed other vectors such as community engagement. How are we going to engage with the communities, the local communities, training, all the training that we wanted to provide to them, and all the maintenance practices. Because a project is only sustainable when people feel it belongs to them. One of the strongest findings from this work was the central role that current finance take. Clean cooking projects are transformative, but without sustainable funding, they can't reach scale. That's where carbon credits make all the difference. Income generated by these carbon credits can be reinvested to distribute more and more cook stoves to the community. This project actually started this year with a pilot project of 450 distributed cook stoves. But thanks to carbon finance, our goal over this 15-year crediting period from 2025 to 2039 is that the combined program of Mali and the Central African Republic is expected to distribute around 45,000 clean cook stoves around the communities and reduce approximately 440,000 tons of CO2 equivalent, generating roughly 370,000 verified carbon credits. Each cook stove more or less can prevent up to 10 tons of CO2 equivalent emissions over its lifetime, depending a little bit on local fuel use, adoption rates, the lifespan of the cooker. And this might seem a little bit small, but multiplied across tens of thousands of households, it becomes a powerful and measurable impact. Current revenues cover most of the process, from manufacturing, distribution, user training, after-sales support, and local employment for maintenance team. Both projects are now entering into the first implementation phase, with the first verified credits expected to be issued between end of 2026 and beginning of 2027. The next 5 years will focus on expansion, step by step, community by community, until solar cooking becomes a real alternative for everyone's life.
When we talk about carbon credits, it's easy to focus on numbers. But what those numbers represent are living ecosystems and human lives. Each ton of CO2 avoided means cleaner air inside homes. Each solar cooker means fewer trees cut down. Each family train means more time, more opportunities, and a pathway to greater equity, especially for women. But beyond social progress, what happens here affects the global climate system. When forests are lost and biomass is burned, emissions don't stay local. They travel, they move across regions, and eventually reach the snow and ice that make up the cryosphere. And that's why we're here today, because what we do in tropical regions, the way we cook, the fuels we burn, the trees we cut or save, all of it has consequences that reach the poles. By reducing the pressure of forests, solar cooking tackles this emission at the source. It's more than a health or social intervention. It's a climate solution that protects the cryosphere itself. And there's a deeper climate connection. Intact forests regulate rainfall, stabilize soils, and store more carbon. When they remain intact, they maintain the hydrological balance between tropical climates and high latitude ecological systems. In that sense, solar cooking becomes part of a climate feedback loop. So when a family in Mali or the Central African Republic cooks with sunlight, it may seem like small change, but collectively, it contributes to the stability of the entire planet. Solar cooking shows that local actions are not isolated. They are nodes of resilience in the global climate network.
And the success of these programs now depends on keeping momentum, not standing still, maintaining engagement, maintaining the trainings, and continuing the support. The feasibility phase gave us a strong foundation, reliable data, conservative modeling, and a clear path forward for validation and verification, for certifying this project under a current standard. But now comes the implementation and the scaling, where community participation is at the center. We're aligning the project with national climate and energy strategies so that clean cooking becomes part of a broader energy transition plan, not an isolated effort. And the long-term goal isn't just issuing carbon credits. The long-term goal is about creating systems that last, systems that generate jobs, systems that improve health and strengthen ecosystems. Carbon finance isn't just a mechanism, it's a movement to generate long-lasting impact.
What we learned through this process is that climate action can start with something as simple as preparing a meal. Clean energy transitions must be both technological and human. They must reach people where they live and make daily life better.
And partnerships like this one between SCI and EcoGaia show how collaboration, data, and trust can turn small interventions into real, scalable climate solutions. Solar cooking begins in everyday life, yet it impacts and expands from the family table to the global atmosphere.
Thank you to Solar Cookers International for your vision, and to everyone here at the Cryosphere Pavilion for recognizing that climate solutions can be both local and planetary.
Thank you.